Hello, and this is Andy Wright Travel, and this is a special Thailand news video. I saw this article and I thought it's interesting. It's a bit ambiguous, to be honest with you, because it does say that the headline, half of Thailand's hotels may close down by August. I mean, that to me does not mean a lot. So let's go through the article and see what happens. So what they're saying is the Bank of Thailand have conducted a survey and they announced that it expects the country's third wave, which is a load of crap anyway because it's not real, which is currently in place in most areas around Thailand. Bearing in mind that the seasonality is currently in progress for Thailand because they are in the tropical area, so they have a different season to us. We just had our early spring season, which is now moving into summer, and of course they were Asiana and all of that have a opposite season to us, so they're just coming into their season. And of course, seasonality means that you get the viruses and the flu and everything else coming out, and people around the world die of it. So let's not argue about that. Let's not discuss that there isn't a virus. There is a virus, but it basically is not really a third wave. It is a first wave for 2021. And of course that will go through summer until our winter starts, and that will be September, October time, and then we'll get our season and they will lose theirs naturally. This is a natural occurrence every year.
Half of Thailand's hotels may shut down by August. The Bank of Thailand, BOT, conducted a survey of hotels and announced that it expects the country's third coronavirus wave to reduce the occupancy rate at the country's hotels to only 9% this month. The survey showed occupancy hotel rates were at around 18% last month and just half that this month. 80% of hotel operators are saying this third COVID-19 wave is even worse than the second. Right now around 39% of hotels are still open but with less than 10% of their normal income. The BOT said that the survey revealed occupancy rates of 18% in April and only 9% in May. At that rate, 47% of Thailand hotels would go out of business within 3 months. 80% of operators consider the current third wave more damaging than the second, which ran from Christmas until the end of January. Because more than 51% of reservations were cancelled in April, the usually popular Thailand event of Songkran proved much less successful than anticipated, the joint BOT Thai Hotels Association survey concluded. Only 46% of the country's hotels currently are open normally, with 13% shut temporarily and the others with curtailed hours or capacity. The joint BOT Thai Hotels Association survey concluded 51% of reservations were cancelled in April, making Songkran much less successful than anticipated. Meanwhile, about 39% of hotels still open reported less than 10% of normal income and more than 25% have normal income. The THA repeatedly has called for government assistance, including employee wage subsidies, debt moratoriums, and tourism stimulus plans to fight the effects of COVID-19. Executives from Pfizer Thailand have met with the Minister of Public Health to discuss the government's deal to import Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for use in Thailand's inoculation program, with 10 to 20 million doses tentatively due to arrive in the latter half of this year. After the meeting, Enladine revealed that the company had confirmed it can deliver 10 to 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to the country in Q3-4 this year, based on the order from the Ministry of Public Health. The Ministry of Public Health has now asked Pfizer to submit the necessary documents and data to the Food and Drugs Administration for approval of the emergency use of their vaccine, as the company has insisted the vaccine deal can only be made with the government or a government agency. Thailand is now in talks with several vaccine manufacturers to secure more COVID-19 vaccine supplies, in addition to Sinovac and AstraZeneca vaccines. The Vaccine Procurement Task Force chaired by Dr. Pisakal Sakal Sayadorn has reached a conclusion that the government will be procuring more vaccines from Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and the Gamaleya Research Institute, which produces Sputnik V vaccine. The task force has urged the Food and Drugs Administration to encourage more vaccine manufacturers and distributors to file for regulatory approval of their vaccines in Thailand.
Interesting article. Basically, as you heard, the actual they're going for the Pfizer, which is probably if you're taking the worst case scenario. It's probably, out of all of them, it's probably the one safest one if you are going to take it. Obviously, it's not good because it is under emergency use only, so it's under trial, people. And so if you're thinking, or if you've had it and you think, oh yeah, I've got really safe now, you're not, because it was under trial until 2023, so it's still under trial, emergency use, and they haven't got a big dose of it yet until the end of this year, which is why they are pushing the third lockdown wave. What I'm getting from this article is that they're going for the Pfizer, although they do have other brands in mind, and of course it is still basically under emergency use, the same as it is worldwide. While there's a pandemic, allegedly, they can use it. As soon as there's no pandemic, it becomes illegal, and they'll have to stop. So they obviously want to get these out and jabbed, and of course it follows the worldwide pattern. And Thailand are obviously pushing this. Later in the year, we will find people being jabbed and then suffering the adverse conditions that they have done around the world. Anybody's sat there going, nah, I've had it, it's fine. Do some research. Look up the VAERS database, VAERS system, and look up Yellow Book. I mean, Yellow Book is crap because it's very difficult to find any information on there because they deliberately hide it. But you may find that if you look at VAERS, that you'll be quite shocked at how many adverse reactions there have been, and also how many deaths there have been. These hotels are shut because of the crazy situation they have where they close their borders, and they close their borders based upon a test, PCR test. We all know from now, it's been said many times that PCR test is 97% false positive, so you're going to get a false result, which is probably wrong. It cannot detect the virus. If you program it to do more cycles, you will find anything. Less cycles is more reliable, but it still doesn't say that you're infected. It's no surprise that there is a industry that's gone down the pan, travel industry, because they won't open the borders, and when they open the borders, they shut within a week when they find that they have one case. They've tested positive, one case for a PCR test, and everything's shut again. So, and they have these weird ideas about they want to open for people that have had a jab. That's fair enough, but the problem with that is it doesn't prevent you from getting it, and it doesn't prevent you from passing it on. So you could have it and you could go to Thailand, no quarantine, and of course start spreading it around. So I think that in the end of the day, Thailand is following the narrative the same as every other country, unfortunately, and until they stop and they see the light, their industry is going to go down the pan, and all of these hotels are going to shut. But when you look at the end goal, which is to get rid of small to medium businesses. This is what's happening. They're going to get rid of everybody. They're just going to have the large ones there left, and it applies to every single country, not just Thailand. It applies to everywhere. The small, medium businesses are not required. Of course, they're going to make you go out of business. So the easiest way to that is close the borders. All right, have a good day, and I'll catch you next time.